all became an unstoppable force. And Lord knows, plenty of people tried to stop us along the way. There was a long road through the Assembly, it was a long road through the Senate, it was a long road past the governor. Bless her heart. And people stayed steadfast. When they tried to separate us, we stayed closer together. When they tried to slow us down, we sped up. When they tried to stop us, we were relentless. I was talking earlier with someone about my child is here, and he recently stood up to his first bullies. We're very excited about that. And they were picking on his friend. He stood up to them, and I asked him, I said, like, baby, were you afraid? And he said, they were much bigger kids than him. And he said, I didn't think about being afraid. I thought about my friends. Right? And there is something in when we come together that everyone in this room has known deep fear, and everyone in this room has known deep loss. And it's not that the fear recedes, and it's not that the loss recedes, it's that something even bigger comes and joins them. Right? And that bigger thing is the thing we become when we're together. That bigger thing is the courage that none of us have alone, but that we have when we gather. And everyone in this room has known cycles of loss. And I just want to honor and thank you for beginning a new cycle of healing. There will be generations and generations to come of like your children's children's children who are going to feel in their bones, in their body, the legacy of the healing and the joy that you fought for together. And so we just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And we give a loving heads up to the legislature and the governor that we look forward to seeing them again soon.
Person who said, that's what you want to do? I got you. And he not only said he got me, he helped me and supported me through the campaign. He knocked doors, he did petitions, he raised money. He did the work to make sure that I was in this seat. So as much as you love me, I love you too, because I wouldn't even be here. Because without people like you putting the thought around people like us being in these seats and these roles, I wouldn't have had the courage to do it. So those things are important, and even when we're thinking about fights and organizing and being out here, the reality is sometimes we don't have allies on the inside, right? It is true. My colleagues are difficult. And I said my colleagues, I'm not difficult because everybody knows just calling me.
Look, everybody's eyes is on you. There you go.
Clap it up for y'all. Come on.
Come on, let's hear it.
Yeah.
I see y'all sitting around. But I am excited to be here as a survivor. My son transitioned 17 years ago. On that night, I never thought that my life would take a turn and be a part of some of the most powerful movements, with this being one of them. Let's give it up again. Let's give it up for the signing. It's done now. It's done. So everybody's like, we're so happy. And I'm like, just take a breath. Because that's all we're doing is taking a breath and come back up for air, because it's a round 2 coming. It's not a round 2 coming. It's a round 2 coming. I'm so glad to be here. It has been a pleasure to be a part of this journey with my new family at Common Justice. It has been a pleasure to make sure that survivors are in Albany and survivors are at different places, and to lead panel discussions. And we're a real family now, and having almost weekly meetings. So I thank you. As a survivor, I can't speak for all, but I thank you as a survivor for your work, for your continued press to make sure this got done. You all did not give up. You did not take no for an answer. One council, one session ended. As soon as the next session started, y'all was paving. I I learned so much through you guys. And I just thank you. And I am ready to move forward with you. Have a good night.
Anderson. And you know, as a survivor, when you lose a child, you come up grasping for air. You don't know what to do. What's your next move? What's your next step? You just have to figure out something to continue to go on. And my thing was, I have to figure out how I could save another child, another parent, and not have to go through this. I lost my only child. So when you fight so hard for your child to be respectful, loving, honorable, and become intelligent, and they murdered anyway, what is left for you to do but to fight some more? So working with common justice, and I've been wanting to say this. When I say common, you say justice. I want to act like a DJ.
It's all good, it's all good.
So I feel so honored to be a part of this, to be a part of with Common Justice, and a part with so many other mothers with their own organizations as well. Because you know, we just get thrust in it, and you have to find your way to become, you know, memorable. Not just have an organization and say you having a meeting, but be memorable and touch people's hearts. And this is part of it. Being able to be a part of history, being able to be a part of a bill being passed, and saying I did that. Like when you watch those movies, The Suffocate, you know, that was like, what day am I gonna be about there? You know? And it just feels good to be able, because in the Black community, you don't even really know about the Fair Act for compensation. People don't even know that they can go there and get that, not just for losing a child, but just for domestic violence, being robbed in the street, that men can go. It's just people don't know about it. And being with Common Justice, getting the word out, passing out those notes, having them sign it, you know, going out to do the block parties and actually being a part. So I'm so happy to be blessed to be a part of this energy, as Orisa said, to be a part of one and working together on more things to get passed. I also got my own bill that got signed in my son's name.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of that energy learning from Common Justice and Moms Demand Action as well. And I stand up here, I didn't do it alone. I did it with all of you guys as well. Miss Maxine with her organization, Mothers of Safe City, with Orisa, Not Another Child. So I don't stand here and feel like, you know, it's just about myself. I had to come and learn from all of you guys, so I really appreciate that.
I just got over my phone first. I'm so sorry, guys. You know, I'm not a talker, so right now I need my fix, and that's my notepad. All right, so I want to say hello, New York. From New York, welcome. My name is Jackie. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and bred. And what a great time to be here with you all to celebrate a monumental victory in the history of victims and survivors of violence in New York State. As we bring in the new year, we also usher in a new beginning to the way victims and survivors of violence will start their healing process. It is true that this victory will not eradicate violence. However, I believe this important victory will open new doors to help victims and survivors rebuild what they've lost in the fire of tragedy. I'd like to thank Marquise, Sherelle, David, Danielle, and other Common Justice leaders and organization leaders such as Orisa Napa-Williams from Not Another Child, Shemekwa Purvis from both sides of the violence, Kelsey Hilgado from Long Live Our Butterfly, Michelle, and many other community-based organizations for standing up to disrupt the cycle of violence and to reach for resources that aid in the healing of our communities when tragedy strikes. Despite how I got here today, which involves the deep pain I still feel behind the murder due to gun violence to my child's father, Wait, I'm sorry, let me say that again. Despite how I got here today, which involves the deep pain I still feel behind the murder due to gun violence my child's father succumbed to, which is the shirt that I'm wearing today, and I finally was able to put it on since 2022, which is when he transitioned. I am elated to be here because I've had the opportunity to turn my pain into purpose by pushing with you all the FABC bill into law. Disrupting violence is everyone's problem, not just a class, a race, nationality problem, but literally everyone who lives in this community's problem. Needless to say, the work to restore and protect our community members is far from over. Long ago, I heard someone say that every generation is responsible for standing up and defending their community. So tonight, we stand here in unison, defending and protecting our community, declaring not only our love for the community, but acknowledging a promise to uphold the integrity of this community, to stand up against violence and keep our community safer than ever before. Tonight speaks volumes to how bad we want change in our communities. So let's become the change we seek. And may God bless all of us and enjoy the rest of the day.
I'm a policy nerd, I'm a civics nerd, and I really believe that we can make government work for us. Safe Horizon, part of our mission statement is that we advocate for survivors, for their families, and for our communities. And it's just unjust that our government tells survivors that they should be paying for their own victimization, that they should be paying for their own survivorship. And we know that safety looks different for every survivor, that healing looks different for every survivor, and that justice looks different for every survivor. And when so many people think about justice, they're thinking about like the criminal legal system, somebody's arrested, yada, yada, yada. But for the majority of our clients, when we ask them what justice looks like for them, they're talking about things like housing justice and economic justice. So this is why this was a priority bill for us for the past couple of years. It's been an honor to be working with our coalition partners to get this bill passed. And like everybody else has said, this is just the first bill that we're working on together. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to build economic justice for our survivors in our communities. So thank you all.
Clap it up for Jimmy, y'all. Come on.
Hi everyone, I'm Myrie. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be in this space with all of you and to see all of you. You know, we've been working together on this for 2 years. And the policy folks, we spend a lot of time on the phone, on Zoom, talking about legislation. But for me and for New Yorkers Against Gun Violence, it always comes back to the survivors. It always comes back to how are we helping the folks on the ground who've actually been impacted, what is actually going to help people on a day-to-day basis, and much less to do with the people in power and you know, passing laws and government. And for me, personally and professionally, being here today with all of you is just incredibly rewarding, empowering, and inspiring. And it definitely empowers me to go back to work tomorrow and to keep up the fight, and to know that you all are really having the impact on policy that we need. So thank you for staying with this. Thank you for having the courage and and just not only the courage, but also the tenacity and the strength to keep going, and know that New Yorkers Against Gun Violence is here for you, and we're going to keep working on partnership with Common Justice and with Safe Horizon and all the organizations to really keep making our community safer. So thank you again. Thanks for having me, and please keep celebrating.
It's so nice to see everyone's beautiful faces here. Thank you all for coming out to celebrate with us tonight. And tonight is truly a celebration. It's truly a celebration. And it's not just a celebration of us passing our first bill for victim compensation for survivors, FABC. That's amazing in itself when we did it so quickly. But it's also a celebration of the hard work that everyone in this room has done over the last few years. It's a celebration of the partnerships that have been formed, the friendships that have been created. Like Aretha said, we are a community, we are family now. It's a celebration of all of our shared belief, because we came in here with a shared belief and a commitment to Black and brown survivors. And we came in here to tell New York State that you must and you will compensate Black and brown survivors. And we got it done, and we're going to keep getting it done. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for your work. And you know what? They don't know just yet, but we are really just getting started. That's right. We are just getting started. We are just getting started. We're going to make sure that New York State stops re-traumatizing Black and brown survivors with unnecessary denials, with unnecessary paperwork. We're going to make sure that New York State stops criminalizing our Black and brown survivors. And we're going to make sure, that New York State's put all survivors on the path to healing. We're going to get that done. We're going to get it done together. I believe it. I know the power that's in this room. So we got a lot of work to do. But tonight we're going to celebrate. Tonight we're going to celebrate. But before we do that, before we start dancing with Marquis, I want to give out a couple of shout outs and thank yous. I want to thank all of our survivors who've worked so closely with us and so tirelessly with us over the last few years. Michelle Barnes-Anderson, Michelle Allen, Arisa Napper-Williams, our champions, Kelsey Hidalgo, who is not with us today, but she's been with us since the beginning. She's in the hospital right now. We really lift up this victory in her name. Shaniqua Purvines, I just want to give a big shout out to all the survivors, because we cannot, and we did this for you, and we cannot do this without you. I want to thank everyone on our steering committee. You heard from some of them tonight. Safe Horizon, Not Another Child, Long Live Our Butterfly, New York is Against Gun Violence, Brady, Every Town for Gun Safety. Hope I'm not missing everyone. I think I got everyone. So it's a big thank you to everyone on our steering committee. And I just want to thank all of you, all of our members, everyone who's just had our back throughout this whole really challenging time to get this bill passed. Thank you. So with that, I just want everyone to raise their glass. Woo! Congratulations on all your hard work on getting this bill passed. Thank you.
Clap it up, clap it up.